Hello, and welcome to today's tour of the Wainwright family home. My name is Tim, and I'm going to be your tour guide for today. Tim's Tour!
With your tour master, Tim.
As some of you may know, the Wainwright family were made infamous in the late 18th and early 19th century due to excessive fortunes that they amassed through the slave trade. George Wainwright I was renowned for being a cruel man and a ruthless slave trader. The entire Wainwright family have been tainted with this brutal reputation, which, to be honest, is actually pretty accurate. You may already know about his grandson, George III, who became judge at the Old Bailey and sentenced 5 young children to death. The oldest was only 14. In the early 20th century, it was widely known that George VII madly beat his wife to death, but due to the lack of evidence, he was never sentenced. No one to this date knows why he killed her. The most recent of the Wainwrights have tried to remove themselves from this namesake by naming their son John rather than George. How well this has worked out, we do not know. But of course, you know all about John and his family, don't you? That's why you are here. You want to know all about the grisly details. John and Ruth Wainwright lived in this very house with their only child, Catherine, known as Kitty for short. But of course, they weren't famous for living here, were they now? You've all seen the news. Now let me tell you more about the family. Come on, follow me. This is the North Corridor, where all the pictures of the Wainwright descendants are hung. You can see that they aren't looked after. This corridor leads to the master bedroom. 7-year-old Kitty used to play here quite a lot. In Ruth's diary, it was written that she almost had an accident, a near miss if you like, involving a chandelier dropping from the ceiling.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? I've heard Tim's stories before, but he doesn't tell them right. I'll tell you the real stories. I guess he was kind of right. I did play in this corridor until Mummy banned me when one of the big lights fell. It didn't get me though, just the cat. I didn't like him anyway. Whilst you're here, have a look at the pictures of my granddad. Daddy also banned me from playing on the swings outside when he found me playing there after bedtime. I liked playing on the swings. Another time, I was playing in the garden with my dolly. She was called Annie. But a big, scary doggy got into the garden. He got hold of Annie. Bad doggy. Mummy took her to the dolly hospital, and I never got her back. It made me so angry.
And as I told you before, the house is exactly how it was left. You'll notice that this end of the corridor isn't as nice as the rest of the house. Follow me, and I'll show you why. Oh, watch your step. And here we are in the master bedroom where John and Ruth slept. It's also the scene of where the horror happened. It was reported that the fire started from a cigarette, even though neither of them smoked. Catherine's body was never found, but it was assumed she died in the...
That's what it was meant to look
Our
like.
friends over at City News have given us this report on what happened on that terrible night. I've always wanted to say this. Roll VT!
Thanks, Claire. Yes, I'm outside the Wainwright estate. This is as close as I'm allowed to get to the mansion, where just last night the terrible blaze started, which eventually led to the demise of the Wainwright family. Now, it's reported that firemen struggled to get the flames under control. This morning, police reports state that the cause of the fire is currently unknown. However, it was thought to have been started by a cigarette. And of course, the entire family, wife Ruth, husband John, and young daughter Catherine died in this very tragic and unfortunate accident. Now, we have some amateur footage that was taken last night of the fire, showing just how ferocious it was. This is Steve Smith reporting from outside the Wainwright mansion for City News. Now back to you, Claire, in the studio.
Wow. Now, after all that excitement, let's show you the rest of that.
Stupid video. You can't go that way. You don't know anything. You must come this way. Now. This is right. I guess I am a Wainwright through and through, unlike my daddy.